Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Memorial Auditorium. Thank you all so much for being here. We are so excited to have this incredible panel and amazing discussion in honor of Women's History Month. We were really excited to mark Women's History Month here in the City of Lynn, and it took us some time to assemble this terrific group, so don't pay attention to the calendar, but pay attention to the incredible stories that you're going to hear tonight. We have the honor of some really distinguished leaders in our community, women in our community who have stepped up in various ways and have so much to share to the next generation. Thank you so much to some of the organizations that have brought some young women here tonight to participate in this by hearing as well, and I know we're gonna have some Q&A later. And really just want to thank Faustina from my office for her work in organizing this, and the entire committee. I know she had a committee of folks that put tonight together, so thank you, Faustina. I'd also like to recognize a couple of my colleagues, school committee member Donna Coppola, school committee member Lorraine Gately, Ward 3 Councilor Coco Allenson, school committee member Lenny Pena. We have had, and also Councilor at Large Hong Nak. There are so many stories from incredible women over the years here in the City of Lynn, and it's really important that we highlight those stories, elevate those stories, and so I'm glad that we have the opportunity to do that here, and I thank all of you for your willingness to do that with us tonight. And it's an important moment for us to be highlighting women's history and the incredible contributions that women make to our world, to our city. There's a lot of challenges that we're facing. The attack on access to women's health care, the ongoing struggles for equal pay, and really just efforts that are happening around the country to challenge some of the progress we've made around inclusion. And so I think that we have some great examples of folks that have overcome a lot of those challenges that are excited to share with you, and also can all support one another as we continue to try to address some of the longstanding inequities that women face, and that therefore are all of our responsibility to tackle. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you to Faustina again and to Michelle for emceeing, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say the mayor was very supportive. We had this idea, we put it together very quickly, and he was like, absolutely, yes, 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 what do I need to do, where do I need to be? So just thank you, Mayor Nicholson, for your continued support. Without further ado, I also just want to thank Michelle LaPoetica Richardson for agreeing to be our moderator, right? If you've been to an event and you've seen Michelle, she's magic, right? That's the word I describe her. She's magic on stage. So without further ado, I won't get in the way of that magic. Michelle, take us away.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Good. They gave me this mic. They want me to use the mic. But y'all can hear me, right? So I know that there's a lot of young women in the audience today. Use the mic? Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of young women in the audience today that are a lot younger than those of us on this panel. Now, I want you to listen to the stories that you're going to hear today, young and old. It doesn't matter how old you are, because it's never too late to turn a leaf. All of the women on this stage have overcome something, have pushed through something, have managed to succeed at something that they're passionate about, because despite what the world tossed at them, and honey, when you're born a woman, the world tosses a lot at you. Not just biologically and physically, but in a lot of ways. So these women stand here as testaments that it can be done, we can make it happen, we can survive all of this, all of it. But love is the key. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce this amazing panel of ladies from our community. Give them a round of applause, please. Now, again, because being a woman comes with so many challenges, achieving the goals and the things that these women have accomplished is also extraordinary. So pay attention to who they are. Dr. Evonne Alvarez. Dr. Evonne Alvarez is the first Latina superintendent appointed by the Lynn School Committee to begin July 2023. She advocates for equity in education, seeks opportunities to ensure access and excellence for all students, and has focused on underrepresented students throughout her 28 years in education. Dr. Alvarez is a dynamic leader who has served as a social science teacher, assistant principal, and district executive leader as a district director of curriculum and administrative director in Miami-Dade. Last year, she served as the chief academic officer for Providence Public Schools, and now she's excited to bring her vast leadership experiences and innovative programming to Lynn Public Schools. And next on our list, not next in the seating arrangement because we like to switch it up on y'all, because that's how it be. Next on our list is Miss Andrea Baez. Andrea Baez is a 17-year YMCA professional whose career has been focused on the betterment of the communities she serves. With a BS in education from Salem State, Andrea began working in out-of-school time programs after college. Andrea joined the YMCA of Metro North in 2019 as the construction of the new Demakes YMCA began. In 2020, under her leadership, the Y team stepped up, providing needed meals, opening a diaper pantry, sharing space with the city to open up additional housing, and eventually housing over 250 children daily as they returned to school via Zoom. The next person on this list, she really doesn't need any introduction because she's been everywhere in the city doing magical things, as many of the women on this panel. Maria Carrasco, a pioneer. Maria Carrasco came to Lynn in the 80s in pursuit of the American dream. She immediately enrolled in English classes at North Shore Community College and received an associate's degree with certification as a drug and alcohol substance abuse counselor. In 2007, she decided to run for the Lynn School Committee, and after much effort and determination, she became the first Latina, male or female, ever elected to office in City of Lynn. I'm sorry, I said the first Latina, male or female, ever elected to office in the City of Lynn. Can we make some noise? She went on to serve on the Lynn School Committee for 5 consecutive terms. Unbelievable. Give her a round of applause. Next up on our list is an amazing creative soul that I've had the pleasure and privilege of knowing for many years. She goes by the name of Cinda. So Cinda was the first AAPI woman to run for office in Lynn in 2019. In 2020, she was appointed by former state auditor Suzanne Bump to serve as a commissioner on the Massachusetts Asian American Pacific Islander Commission. Cinda is also the creator of Faces of Lynn magazine, where she utilizes her talent in photography, and she is an amazing photographer, to highlight the community. And even as a new mom, Cinda continues to balance her time with community, art, and advocacy. Next up on this incredible list is my insurance agent. And she's amazing. Her name is Mabelyn Lopez. Mabelyn is the owner and operator of 4 Insurance LLC with 25 years of experience helping individuals, local business owners, and communities protect themselves and their passion with insurance. She is able to service the Lynn community in multiple languages and truly understand their unique needs. She is also a proud mother of 2 amazing young men and an incredible insurance agent. Did I tell you that already? Not only that, but she's raised here in Lynn. So again, for those of you that are younger than all of us here, she was raised here. She came up in these streets, she came up in these schools, so she's from here and she's doing amazing things. Next up on our list is Ogor Okoye, an attorney. Ogor Winnie Okoye is a self-described multitasker, genuinely, extraordinaire, seeker and disruptor who proudly wears and juggles the multiple hats that is her daily life. She is a mom to 5 talented children who she describes as her teachers, a trial attorney, inspirational author, speaker, life coach, licensed financial professional, and a gender and racial justice activist. She is the principal attorney at BOS Legal Group, LLC, a general practice firm located in Lynn, Massachusetts. And her areas of practice include criminal defense, immigration law, family law, life planning. She's also a leader within the Essex County Commission on Status of Women. Next up on this phenomenal list is Mary Saris. Miss Mary lives in Lynn, and she is the executive director of the Mass Hire North Shore Workforce Board. If you don't know who Mass Hire is and you're a teenager, you better find out, like quickly. Summer jobs, hello. So Mass Hire North Shore Workforce Board, which oversees the workforce system for the North Shore. Mary is responsible for a system designed to help all companies find the talent they need to be successful, and all job seekers find quality jobs and careers with high and with self and family sustaining wages. Prior to this job, Mary was the executive director of the Lynn Business Education Foundation. And then there's me, but y'all know me, right? So real quick on me, I am proud to say I am the community engagement manager at Raw Artworks right here in Lynn. Whether you're a parent or a youth from grades 4 to 12, come see me, because we're always looking for some magical people to enroll in our program. So Raw Artworks is the place. Come see me, and I'm also a poet on a good day. And Tofika is going to be replacing me in a little bit. She's going to come up here, and she's going to be our youth moderator. So I'll introduce her when she comes up, but and we'll tell you a little bit more about her. So ladies, now that we've gotten introductions out of the way, how y'all doing? Where's your mic? Who has the mic? Okay, wonderful. So we're going to have a conversation about how we got here. And I'll start with you, Dr. Evonne. Because I guess you're the newest to our community right now, so we're gonna give you the heads up, and we're gonna let you start this conversation. As a Latina woman, as a woman in general, with all the challenges that you've had to face, can you name some of the challenges? How did you get to where you are today?
Absolutely, it's a pleasure to be here this evening, and especially sitting next to all of you incredible women tonight. You know, I think the challenges are many, as you mentioned in your opening statement. Being a Latina woman can be especially difficult because you have to walk into a room well prepared to respond to what is really a stereotype many times. And so being well-read, educated, and having, you know, the salient research at your fingertips makes a huge difference in terms of how you're perceived, right? And that's like one thing that I have 2 daughters, a 21 and a 24-year-old. And, you know, raising them, I always reminded them that they always needed to be well prepared to walk into any room, that what you look like is so much less important, right? In terms of what you bring to the conversation and how professional you can actually participate and engage in a dialogue. And so I think the challenge is, being an educator, I started teaching in 1995. For the students that are here, I know that's a long time, it sounds like a long time ago. It is. But I was a social science teacher, and I was very passionate about that. And I went into educational leadership and administration because I had a mentor who encouraged me to, said, you can make such a difference. You're young, you're bright, do it now. Like this, it's gonna be a game changer for you. And so, doing the work of assistant principal, was really life-changing for me. Got me into a lot of spaces that I would have never been a part of, or rooms that I would have never been sitting in. And I have to say that one of the challenges that came, sometimes you work so much, right, that you're not really thinking about what are the obstacles or the challenges, your work ethic, like what it is that your goal and your purpose are. I always focused on outcomes. But I'd be remiss if I didn't share an experience that really changed me, sitting on a nonprofit national board where I was elected by my peers in several states for Magnet Schools of America. And I represented the organization for 3 consecutive terms, so 6 years in total. It was complete service work. I still sit on their board now as a basically an appointed person by an appointed representative by the president. So I'm not elected any longer, but during that time, between 2016 and 2021, I was the only Latina woman on that board. And we were lobbying congressional representatives at the national level for educational dollars. And that experience changed my perspective on the value of my input completely. I thought about how important it was to advocate for students, and I could not believe, right, that I was, again, the only Hispanic Latino woman in that room, at that table.
How do you feel that being that person, being the only Latina in that room, how did that affect how you had to work?
I had to work harder, right? And there's a lot of, it's an onus and a responsibility because I was a voice for students that perhaps, we don't know what it's like to walk in someone else's skin, right? So I was a voice for students across the country that were of a Latino, Hispanic background. And that that was just a complete game changer for me in terms of how I saw myself and my role in education. And then, through those years, I was also teaching a lot of professionals and encouraging them and empowering others to do the same. You can't be the only person at the table, right? You need all of the voices and perspectives. So, I think the lesson is that even on your toughest day could mean that you change someone's life that day or have long-lasting impact on a student's life that day. And that, for me, has made all the difference.
Miss Mary, are you ready for me?
Is this on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say testing, say mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Word, I like that. Sounds great. So Miss Mary, kind of along the same lines, the same question. Given the choices that you've made in your journey, how do you feel you've been impacted because of being a woman? How do you feel that you've impacted because of being a woman? What challenges did you face along the way?
I think part of my success is that I grew up with 3 brothers and no sisters. And they made me tough, number one, but they also wonderful men now. They drove me crazy when I was growing up, but they're wonderful friends and family now. But I learned not to be afraid of men, because men were my life. They were there there all the time.
I'm asking you to hold on real quick. Can you say that one more time?
Say that again.
Say what you just said. You learned what? What did you learn having 3 brothers?
That
You learned not to be afraid.
not to be afraid or intimidated by men.
That's big.
I think that is big. Not that there haven't been a few moments, but generally speaking, I feel like I know too much about men, having grown up with 3 brothers.
That's beautiful.
There's no mystique there,
She said there's no mystery.
but I think that helped. I do think persistence is a very important characteristic to have, particularly in this day. And if there's something that you believe in, you need to stick with it and not let it go. There have been times, in my professional career where people have said to me, "Aren't you going to let that go, Mary?" And I won't if it's important. And that makes a big difference. So being persistent, also being kind and non-judgmental, not to jump to conclusions about what people are or what they're thinking, being open.
Miss Mary, you're gonna need to tell them that slowly because I need them to absorb everything that you're saying to them. So tell them not to be afraid. Everything you just said, tell them again because I need them to. You all absorbing? Is everybody absorbing? Good. Please absorb. Go ahead,
Yes,
Miss Mary.
yeah. Don't be afraid and believe in what you believe in and stick with it. Even now, I'm sometimes shocked at my age. I won't tell you what it is, but at my age,
Speak it, Mary.
my job itself is still challenging. And everyone knows we have a very strange economy. Our job is to help people find good jobs and to help companies find the talent that they need. And in an era of a true labor shortage that we're experiencing right now, it's a tricky world out there, so I'm still remaining challenged every day on how to approach things. I don't know all the answers, and I probably never will, but that's okay. And one last thing is to believe in the people around you, similar to what you were saying, in the sense that you cannot do it alone, ever. And you have to be able to bring people in to help you in whatever you're working on. So cherish your colleagues, cherish your friends, cherish your family, cherish your brothers, if you have any, but believe in yourself and just don't let go.
So there's this phrase that I'm sure many of you have probably heard. It says, it takes a village. This is what a village looks like, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to continue with Mabelyn Lopez, but something that you said was very important. And something that I feel like you're going to hear resonate throughout this panel is do not give up. You will be faced with challenges, you will be faced with obstacles, but do not give up. And don't be afraid. And if you are afraid, it's okay, because there ain't no courage without fear. So push through that fear and make it happen. Miss Mabelyn Lopez.
I want to say most importantly that whatever I say in the 2 minutes I'm going to speak or the 1 minute I'm going to speak is the people that challenge you the most are the people that are going to make you successful. If you have the teacher that is on you constantly, the one that you can't stand, the one that's like, leave me alone, I already did my work, or if I didn't feel like doing it, those are the people that are going to make you the most successful. Because you need people that are going to challenge you because they see something in you, whether it's intimidating or whether it's something that you don't see in yourself. It's something that you will learn to see in yourself. So please remember that. I have a lot of stories, but that's one thing I
That was so beautiful.
I needed to make sure I let you know because I've had a journey working in the insurance industry, in a very male-dominating industry. It has been very difficult as a female, especially as a Latina. I can only name 2 women that I know that own insurance agencies who are female Latinas, who I work with. I definitely love to collaborate with other agencies. It's important to share within that community. But you definitely need people. I mean, unlike Mary, I grew up with women, a lot of women, like Maria Carrasco. You know, I grew up watching her, seeing how powerful she was and wanting to be just like her. So surround yourself with people that will give you these things that you admire and that later on you can adopt.
She's my insurance agent.
What was the question?
Ladies and gentlemen, and all the beautiful people in between, to catch you up, because I know I introduced these beautiful ladies a while back. So the next up on the mic is the Honorable Attorney, Ms. Ogor Winnie Okoye. Ogor has a lot of stories as well. But Ogor, we're talking about the journey. The journey, some of the difficulties and obstacles along the way, because we want all of these people here to understand that if you keep at it, if you don't give up, magic happens.
Yes.
Talk
yes,
to them.
Yes. So my journey, my trajectory has been interesting. And of course, like almost all of the ladies here, we probably can write pages of encyclopedias on what the journey has been like, right? But I'm gonna keep it simple. I immigrated to the United States because I fell in love with this lovely man, and it's been 25 years this year. Thank you. So we have 5 children, like she said. I have kids who are teeny. I have a 5-year-old, but I also have an almost 23 years old. So it's been interesting. I went to law school coming from a country where there wasn't anything like structural racism or the feeling that you don't belong. So it was somewhat of a shock getting here. I grew up in Nigeria. Any Nigerians in the house? That is us. Thank you.
I know they don't know somebody from Nigeria. They listen to the music.
I see you all. So yes, I am Nigerian, and if you know a thing or two about us, if you have parents, you're either a doctor or a lawyer or a loser. They really don't even have any middle ground, like where I come from. So, but anyways, I came here, and the first couple of years in law school was, I have to be honest, rough in a lot of ways, because I didn't know that, or at least had a sense of being different at all. So it was tough that you needed to establish the fact that you're human. So that was the first fight, the fight for humanity. When I talk about that, I somewhat get emotional, but that was the first fight. So fast forward to getting out of law school, and I was a lawyer in Nigeria as well. But when I came here, I was required to kind of go back to law school. So I did. I went back to Suffolk Law School. Fast forward to graduation, and starting off as a criminal defense attorney and realizing that everyone else in the courtroom looked white except for the bad guys in the dock. What is going on? I was shocked at that realization because it made me question whether or not criminality was connected to race. But it's been so many years of unraveling and deciphering and understanding that criminality is not connected to race, that I have to jump into the arena and get up of the sidelines and fight for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that is the fight that I've been doing till today. And I want to tell every woman in this room something. Please don't let anyone cage you and tell you that you can be only one thing. Please don't let anyone tell you that you can only do one thing. Every day, and it's not an easy journey. You're gonna fall flat on your face like I do every day, almost every day. but you're gonna be fine. Someone said to me, I thought you were only allowed to do one thing as an attorney. And I said, who said that? No way. I will kick their ass in a courtroom as a criminal defense attorney. And I would also help my clients who are facing deportation, get them to stay with their families in the United States. And if you're going through a divorce, you better be sure that I will get you your maximum alimony and child support. So do not let anyone tell you that you can't be whatever it is that you want to be. Thank you.
They're feeling it because even the men were clapping. I thought they were going to leave. So the men clapped too, so we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, and all the beautiful people in between, the next up on our panel is Miss Cinda Dan. Cinda, you are amazing. And I've already described you, but like the same question that everybody's answered. And I know that many of you are moms, you know, but you're a fresh new mom.
I am.
And being who you've been, who I've known you to be all these years, and moving and buzzing around the city as you do, being a mom is definitely a challenge that many of us have had to overcome and push through to get to where we're getting. So tell us about your journey, and then tell us about your journey as a mom now, how that fits.
I love talking about my baby.
I know, and your husband loves painting her, so like, we're good.
So my name is Cinda, and as you know, I'm the first Asian American woman to run for office in the city of Lynn. And as women, we face obstacles daily that our male counterparts do not face. So when you're the first of anything, you go through so many isms, such as ageism, racism, sexism, and oftentimes when I was knocking on doors and meeting new people, I was met with resistance of, you haven't been around here long enough. Maybe you should wear a miniskirt for my votes. Maybe go out with me instead, and maybe I'll vote for you. And accusing me of only caring about immigrant communities. Nothing is wrong with caring about all communities, especially all vulnerable populations. But essentially, being the first of anything where these spaces aren't filled with people that look like you, they're telling you that you don't belong. And being able to overcome that has been challenging, but what I sought was community. Community members, other women who have done the fight, who have been there and are able to lead the way. You know, when I ran for office, I didn't know I was going to get into politics. My parents are Cambodian genocide survivors, and the only reason why I was even introduced to politics was because in 2010, our house was going through foreclosure, and it was through that it became a call to action for me, because we didn't know that government was there to help us, that they actually worked for us. Like, it's our tax dollars, it's our city dollars. They're there to advocate for us and provide us with resources that we don't necessarily know about. But having immigrant parents, we don't know what we don't know. And so going through that process became a call to action. I was able to get an internship at the State House to learn more about how to advocate for our communities. How can I be that bridge and bring that back to our community so that everybody knows that this is your government, this is your city hall, and that your voice matters. So I spent 5 years working in state government, making sure that I knew how to pass legislation. I knew how to be that bridge. As women, we over-prepare for things, and we make sure that we know every single step. Men will just do it. With no preparation, but as women, we over-prepare. We want to make sure we get it right, and so we take our time with it. And so my platform was consistent on affordable housing, believing in equitable economic development. I believe that my family, my daughter, should be able to afford to live in Lynn if she chooses to. I believe that we can create more affordable housing without displacement and without pushing out our neighbors and our friends and our community members. And so while I didn't win my election, I am proud to say that I was recently appointed to the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, where I get to do just that, to continue to advocate for the creation and preservation of affordable housing within the city of Lynn. Yeah, there's just a lot.
So in essence, you saw a need and you filled it.
I'm sorry, what was that?
In essence, you saw a need in your community and you chose to fill it.
Yeah, and I was almost not going to take it because I knew that becoming a new mom was going to be challenging. But I also knew that this is exactly why I ran for office. I wanted to make sure that we can keep our community together. And so, balancing being a new mom, I want my daughter to be able to embrace this community. I can't see myself not living in Lynn. So if it's one thing that I want to leave you with is, when you put yourself out there, when you put yourself in spaces where people don't look like you, where people don't speak like you or think like you, know that the work may be hard, but it's not impossible. No matter what you do, even if it's a little delayed, just know that delayed does not mean denied. Thanks.
Beautifully said, Cinda. Maria Carrasco. Señora. Is on? Yes. I can't, I have no words to say more than I've already said about you because I have a deep respect. Como Dominicana, I have a profound respect for you and everything that you've accomplished. So, yes. So, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you got where you are.
Okay. It's going to be a little difficult after we hear all the outstanding ladies here, but first of all, I want to say thank you, Michelle. I want to say thanks to the mayor, to Faustina, to everybody put all this together. It was amazing. It's a very significant event. But you can hear me, pay attention. I have a heavy accent, never went away. My complexion, if we're going to talk about that, I have to tell you that it was difficult for me to run for a school committee, but like you here, Michelle, I came to Lynn from my native country, Dominican Republic, in the early 1980s. My background is education, but due to the lack of English, I didn't even dare to apply for teacher aid. So I went like everybody else to work at the beginning to a shoes manufacturer. That was in Salem. It was a shoe place in Salem. And it was okay, but having 3 kids attending the public school, I found out that a larger population of students were and still are Latino. It touched me a lot, but I didn't know how to get involved, so I decided to get involved with adults, teaching them to become American citizens. It was in Spanish, it was okay for me. But yeah, I was using that in my language, so. And in 2007, I saw the opportunity. Michelle, you're talking about situation so different, but I saw that this opportunity when 2 people decide to step down as a school committee, and I said, that is my opportunity. Let me run for a school committee so I can get more involved in with the community and with education. I didn't know what I was doing. I'm telling you, I didn't know. Because going door to door, there are some places in this city that at that time, I had to bring somebody white. That person was my friend. It was one of my volunteer people who believed on me, but I had to bring that person with me white to knock the door. And be upfront when people were open the door, so they can open the door, and most of the time they were looking at the person who knocked the door, who was white. But after they introduced me, I was able to talk and selling my message that why I was gone, or why I was going to be, or I want to be a school committee member. One time somebody said to me, I am not going to vote for you, because if I vote for you, you're just going to help Latino students. It touched me because I said, that means that all the white people who are born here and are also a member of the school committee, just helping the white students? It was so that it made people also to think. I said, if I become a school committee, I'm going to help all the students who are attending the public school. Somebody also said to me, I am not going to vote for you because you are not Italian. Maybe they thought that we have my friend Donna Capola and Pari Capano that sound like Italian names. And I said, well, we have Donna Capola. We have over there Pari Capano. And I believe that if they are Italians, I don't believe that they're just working for Italian students. I believe that they are working for all the students who are attending the public school. So that was the way for me to try to reverse the opinion that they had over me. It was difficult, and I'm telling you that many people said to me, you're not gonna make it. But nobody had a right to decide my future. Nobody had a right to decide your future. My future, your future, will decide you, nobody else. It doesn't matter what people said, but you have all the tools. When I came to this country, I didn't have all the tools that you already have possessed right now. All the resources. The only resource that we have was North Shore Community College, and to tell you the truth, in many, many dictionaries, because we didn't have Google. Yes. So, to tell you a little more, it was that in 2007, 2 people stepped out. I decided to run for a school committee. I was sending my strong message to people, so the little storms, like my complexion, my accent, they didn't affect me, because my message was more stronger than the little steps. My message was like a rock. My passion, my energy, my determination, it was more strong than anything that they believed about me. And in 2007, yes, with 12 people running for a school committee at the same time, and only six available, I became the first Latina, male or female, like the Richardson elected this year. So that means that if I was able to do it, please, again, don't let people to decide your future. Work on your future. Make sure that you have the power, you have the tools, and you can do it. Thank you so much.
Miss Andrea, that's a tough act to follow. Listen. Well, I hope y'all are y'all taking notes? I don't see a single pen moving. Are you taking notes? I hope you is. Okay. So Andrea, again, you know, we have heard so many amazing stories. We've heard how to overcome, you know, racism, how to overcome sexism, classism, you know, all the isms that are out there against us, you know. What is your story? How did you get here? What did you overcome? Like, I know, and just, I gotta say this, because when I talked to Faustina about the panel, the way she spoke of you particularly, made me really, like, it got me in my feelings, because I know what the Y did during the pandemic. I received help from what the Y did during the pandemic, as I'm sure many families that see this can say. So thank you for pushing through all that. We're talking about women that have pushed through all sorts of obstacles, ladies and gentlemen, but motherhood is an obstacle that we've been hearing about through time, because we've been giving birth since the beginning of time, right? We've heard about the obstacles of racism, of the obstacles of age, and all the obstacles that come with but the obstacle of a pandemic is something that none of us can speak to. The obstacles, we didn't know what we were up against.
So for you to have stepped up, pushed through the fear, and be as courageous as you've become, tell us how that was for you.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, ladies, what acts to follow? So thank you for letting me join you tonight on this stage. I think that the mission of the Y is what pushed all of us through, because our job is to show up and help. So if it's food insecurity, if it's kids need a place, for remote learning, whatever it is, if you work for the Y, you help. And some days it could be we're helping young people with homework, and other days it could be finding somebody a place to live. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for acknowledging that work, but that is the Y work. I think that, my messaging after all of this is, and I'm looking at Dr. Alvarez because she said something that resonated. She said, my mentor. Ladies, find your network of ladies that lift you up when you are low. You cannot be successful alone. I heard that in this panel, and that is so true. You can go so much faster, and so much further. And I'm looking out and I see Deb over there, one of my lady partners in crime in Lynn. I know Laurie Hamill's in this room. And I will tell you that out of the pandemic, what I learned was this group of ladies, and it was all ladies, we got together faithfully once a week on the phone to kind of navigate what are we going to do for the city. And that is where that strength came from. It was from the strength of other women who said, okay, we can close our doors, we can batten down the hatches, but we can't, because who is going to help? So this tremendous group of women and I got ourselves together and mobilized ourselves, and really that is where the work came from out of the pandemic. So it was not alone. So I say to all my young ladies out there, and I have to shout out my girls from the Y who are here right now. I could cry, my girls. And my own 14-year-old who is there somewhere, but really find your people and embrace your people, because your people will take you through those hard times. And I look at this group of women, and I look at you, Michelle, and I think to myself, that is exactly what the sisterhood is. It is lifting as we climb. It is, if there is an opportunity for a lady that you know that you can pull them into, grab her hand and lift her up and stand by her, because that is the only way that we are going to continue to solve the problems of the world every day. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people, all the beautiful people in between, listen. My time here is up, and I'm gonna welcome a youth moderator. But I want you to take a moment, please, before you leave here today. Don't leave this room without introducing yourself to somebody that you don't know, because it really does take a village. And I don't care what you see on TV, what you see on Netflix, or what you hear on the radio and the music that you're listening to. A woman uplifts another woman. A woman sees, if I see that Maria's crown is falling off, I'm not gonna for it to finish falling. I'm not gonna bump into her so that it falls off. I'm gonna adjust her crown and polish when necessary. For every sister on this panel here, none of us are bound by blood. Not one of us is bound by blood. As many of the people in your life may not be bound by blood. And sometimes those that are bound to you by blood don't do the work. It's the one that you meet along the way. I met a group of women during the pandemic. One of them is here right now, Adriana Paz. She's my sister now. So build your village, because it happens and it exists. And these women are all proof of that. I admire each and every one of you incredibly. Thank you for allowing me to be your moderator. Thank you for surviving. Thank you for existing. Thank you for everything that you are and everything that you've become despite the obstacles. Learn, take notes. Learn, take notes. Next up, as the youth moderator, is Miss Tofika Lamina. Tofika is a senior at KIPP Academy. at KIPP Academy Lynn Collegiate, where she serves as the president of the Black Student Union and National Honor Society. Since her freshman year, she has been actively involved in her school community, creating a platform for students to advocate for themselves and their community. Tofika has recently been awarded a full scholarship as a Questbridge Scholar. Rice University. In her spare time, she enjoys rewatching Broadway musicals. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the lovely Miss Tofika.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate it. Honestly, I just want to quickly say that I'm very inspired by all the, just everything that all of you ladies have said tonight. I've definitely know what I'm going to be implementing in my own journey, and just also hearing about how you never let your struggles or whatever was the barriers in your way deter you from getting where you want to be and the goals that you want to achieve. So just another just quick thank you so much for coming here and sharing your stories with us tonight. And I also just have one question to ask. As a senior going into college and trying to figure out how I want to do within change making and stuff like that, I'm curious about what advice do you have to the next generation of youth like me and also younger girls to see where they want to end up and be in such positions like you are today.
So thank you for that question. I'll start. I want to say that so there's many days even after a long career, right? I think many of us can relate that sometimes you think about is there something, and to the point of, your incredible point about doing many things, right? You should never be discouraged about trying all of the things that you believe that not only you would be wonderful at, but also that are going to make you happy. What are you going to wake up every day and look forward to, this is what I want to do every day, right, for the rest of my life? And there are many moments that you'll question, and I think that's regardless of whether it's now, 5 years from now, 15, throughout your lifetime. But I think, when you stay grounded in your purpose and you block out the noise, there's a lot of noise, right, in all of our professions and what we've chosen to do. And if you listen to the noise, you get very distracted. And the noise is, people, the naysayers, right? People say you can't accomplish, you can't achieve, you can't listen to that. You have to have that voice in your head that says, I'm going to do this, right? I'm going to accomplish this. And I think the only thing that, in addition to that I would say to you, because one day you will also, we're moms here, and would be that in 2021, when Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson was appointed to the Supreme Court, she spoke about, during her actual cross-examination, she was being interviewed, and she referenced something that she had said before her confirmation, and it made me very emotional, and it probably resonates with all of you and you in the audience as well. And those of you that will be moms one day, you'll probably need to think about this and never forget it. She said that she struggled many times with her life and work balance and in raising her two daughters. And I just don't know that we can agree, right? Most of us would feel that not only resonates with us, but it's very difficult, right? To balance your life, your work, your family. And so the only other thing that I would say to you is also, you have to think about that, right? As you make choices in life of what do I want to do for the rest of my life? Because that's really important. And so, it would be great. I would maybe could have been, like 007 spy, right? But then I wouldn't be here educating students, and I wouldn't have maybe had my children. So we all pick paths, and you need to really think through, like, what is it that where do I see myself? What do I see myself doing? And that includes your family, your well-being, your relationships. And that's really important, because I still struggle with that, even though my daughters are grown, right? So I would say, don't let anyone discourage you, obviously, from doing anything you want to try or do in life.
Thank you so much.
Same question. Very true. Everything you just said, very true. Work-life balance is very hard to maintain. I only have one daughter, one child, and she's grown up now, obviously. But growing up, while she was growing up, trying to balance work, supporting the house, all that sort of thing, and still enjoying her and having fun with her and giving her what she needed, always had to go first. And I was fortunate to have a good support system behind me that let that happen. So keep that in mind. But I would say, because I'm in the business of helping people decide what they want to do with their lives, our young people. Please visit the Youth Career Center at North Shore Community College. Anytime, we're there to help, and we can get you summer jobs or whatever you might need. But we do a lot of labor market research, and right now, it is a great time to be young, like yourself, with the future ahead of you, because we need the young people more than ever before to keep our economy going and to lead us into the future. You've probably heard about the baby boomers from right after World War II, and they're all retiring. And they're not the same number of people coming up the other end. And so companies are desperate to hire people, school districts, struggling to find educators, hospitals, IT companies, manufacturing companies. Everyone's struggling to find people. So it is an opportunity for young people to take hold of that and think about, what would you like to do? You work a lot. When you're grown up, when you're adult, all you do is work, it seems. So it's good to like what you do. Very important. And even better to love it if you can do that. Because you spend a lot of time doing it, and it's even better because you get paid for it, doing what you love. So think about that. But what I would also like to suggest, and to all the young women in the audience, we look at data all the time, and I was looking at a report recently that listed the 20 highest paying jobs in the country and the 20 lowest paying jobs in the country. And what percent of the people working in those jobs are women? And it's a very upsetting list when you see the higher paying jobs being dominated by men and the lowest paying jobs being dominated by women. First of all, I think everyone's wage is messed up anyways, but I think that I would urge young women to think about a non-traditional career and to think about all those engineers, all those IT people, all those people in the high-tech manufacturing companies are basically men, and they make much more money, unfortunately, than women in other careers. In healthcare, unfortunately, they're not. Some high-paying jobs in healthcare, go for them, reach for them, but keep in mind, just think about maybe an alternative career and envision yourself in that and see if that might make a difference for you. Have you picked a major yet?
Yes, I did. I plan to double major in computer science and psychology.
There you go. See, she's right there. Right there. Excellent. And again, you got to do what you love. Yes. And even if it doesn't pay you much, you got to love it because you spend a lot of time doing it. But if there's any way you can think of another career, don't be intimidated by the fact that there's only men in that field. Great, thank you.
One thing I want to definitely tell you is that you probably heard your whole life to slow down. Whether it was running to the school, running in the hallway, running down the stairs to get to a friend's house, I can honestly say that slow down. And allow yourself to see life. Allow yourself to see things happening. Because we're all put here on earth for a purpose, and you have to know your purpose in order to help others. We're not here for ourselves. We're here to thrive and to help others succeed and to be happy. And when you stop and you take a minute to just look at your surroundings and you take a deep breath and you have air in your lungs, like all of these things are privileges. You know, we're blessed to be here and we're blessed to learn so much. You're so educated and you're so ready for life. But one thing I can say, it's gonna go very fast. So just remember to stop and just pause and breathe and allow yourself to just proceed with what life has for you.
So Fika is my daughter. Round of applause for Fika. So I am Fika's, listen, I said to Fika when I saw her name here first and I called her mom. And I am like, is this my little Fika? Is now moderating an event in the City of Lynn. This is so awesome. Congratulations, daughter. I love you. So, what would I tell the young women in the room? Invest in yourself so convincingly that your talent cannot be ignored. What are you doing with your 24 hours of every day? I ask my children that. If you see yourself scrolling through Facebook for more than 2 hours, you're wasting your life. There are no shortcuts to these things. And this journey that I choose to call the hero's journey in one of my books, Awakening and Unleash Your Victor, it's lonely. If you want to set yourself apart from everyone else, you're going to have to invest in yourself. There are no shortcuts to this. And while it's arduous, while it's hard, while it's lonely, it will be well worth it. And especially, reality check, if you're a BIPOC person living in the United States, you're going to work 2 times, 3 times harder than the next person. It is just what it is for now, until the status quo is changed. So work hard, so hard, that your talent cannot be discounted or ignored. Thank you.
I would say, don't compare your story to somebody else's. Somebody may know that they want to be a doctor or a veterinarian, or they want to be an astronaut, or maybe they don't want to go to school at all, and that is okay. Don't compare yourself, and your story is yours alone. It is special, it is unique. Take the time to find yourself, do what makes you happy. And if you settle on a major, it doesn't mean it's going to be the rest of your life. I knew that I didn't like math. I knew that I liked to help people, so I majored in human services, and it also required the lowest math. And I was like, this is a sign. I am made for this major. And I went to 3 different schools. It is okay. Take your time with it. It doesn't mean forever. You can always change what you want to do. Life is something that you're always going to be a student in. You're always going to learn new things about yourself. You know, I don't even like the clothes I bought last year. I'm always changing and evolving, and so will you. Don't cage yourself, don't put yourself in a box, and don't be afraid to go against the norm. And do what feels right for you, and don't compare your story and your success to anybody else.
I want to say to be organized. And because in college, nobody's going to tell you what to do. Like in high school, teachers are around you to tell you where your homework, what you're doing. Be organized and do what you think is best for you. I always say to the student, it doesn't matter what university you're going to attend. It's up to you what you want to be in the future. I put the sample of the congressman that was a congressman for 20 years, John Tierney. He graduated from Ceylon State University. Now, before I was at Ceylon State College. And the assistant graduated from Harvard. So it's telling you that it doesn't matter where you want to, where you're going. It's about what you want to be. And if you want to be a great professional, proud of yourself, it doesn't matter. Just be organized with your time, enjoy your life, because it's only one, like people say here, and you are very young, so enjoy and think about what you want to be, and be proud of yourself, and your family, of course, is going to be proud of you. Thank you.
So I think just to add on to everything that the lady said, enjoy it all of it, every second of it. It goes way too fast. I also think too, find something that you love. We spend a lot of time at work, girls. There's a lot of time in the office. And I also think too, involve your people and your family and your loved ones in what you do. It makes it so much sweeter when your kids, your partner, your parents, the people around you are with you as you go through those journeys. And have fun. Don't ever stop having fun. And then when you stop having fun, then sometimes it's okay to make that change, because like these ladies have said, life is way short. I did not ever think I would see 45. It happened. It is happening. And I just have to say, and the fun doesn't stop, and that is what life is. So enjoy. Congratulations, you are tremendous. I think that these young ladies have something to teach all of us, because they seem to have a lot of giddy up and go at this age that I did not at 17. So congratulations to you and your family for your success.
Another round of applause, please. Michelle, get out here. Another round of applause for these amazing humans. Mujeres poderosas, powerful women. I just want to say thank you all for accepting this invitation and for being here tonight. Again, my name is Faustina Cuevas. I am the City of Lynn's first Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, and also an advisor to Mayor Nicholson. I need to give a shout out to other folks that helped plan this event. Doraima Diaz, I don't know if Dee's in the audience, Dee, but Dee was helping us out there as well, serving food. Etta Matchak, Drew Russo, Berta Alvarez, John Tebow, who's our Chief of Staff, and he told me to take his name off this, and I was like, well, no, we're not. Zosha Van Meter and Valerie Vong, thank you so much for helping put this together. I really do appreciate it. We are a little bit over time, and I do just want to thank you all for taking the time to be here. I also have a piece of advice. Even when you come into places and you don't see yourself, doesn't mean that one day you won't be. I used to walk into this building as a kid that grew up in Lynn, as an interpreter for my mom. I never thought I would see myself working in this building, ever, because there was no one that looked like me here. Never mind working for 2 mayors now, right, and being the first. So I just want to say that only because spaces don't look like you doesn't mean you can't be the one that changes that. Doesn't mean that you then don't inspire other people to do that, right? So I think that's really important. And it is the people you see, right, when you are inspired by people who look like you, that make space for you, that uplift you. All those things really matter, and they're really important. So thank you again to these panelists. Panelists, stay put, we're gonna take some pictures, but thank you all and have a great evening.
Visit lyntv.org/news for videos, press releases, interviews, and more, all for free.